Somebody's here. Haley's here. Nyla's here. This is good. See who else shows up. Give me a minute. Jackie's here. Oh, wait. Is here. Jocelyn's here. Betsy's here. We're up to 7. Tanya makes 8. Wait about 2 or 3 minutes. See if I can break double digits. Chloe makes 9. Still got 9. That's not what I want. All right. Save that. Close that. Close. So we got 11 of us here. I think we'll go ahead and get started. Any of y'all have questions about anything over the last week or so?
No.
No, I don't.
Okay. How'd y'all's break go?
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
Let's see. Let me pull up my email real quick. Yeah, Haley, Chloe. When we're done, I want to ask Haley and Chloe something real quick. But for everyone else, I'm just checking in with y'all because I mean we're done with material. So basically, the next couple of weeks, what I'll be doing is see if you guys have any questions about the rubric. Remind you guys about watching those videos on YouTube. Have any of y'all watched those over the last
Yes.
couple of weeks?
I have.
Yes.
I have.
Okay. How regularly are you watching those?
I watch it like one every day. 1 or 2 every day.
Good. That's good. Trying to think. Are you taking any notes as they're going through these, or
Yes.
looking over the notes you already have?
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
That's good. The one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys is the fact that before the break started, I assigned some multiple choice questions to try to refresh you guys as far as material goes and help you study a little bit. I assigned some SAQs to kind of get you to think about how to write thesis statements, and I assigned 2 DBQs from units 5 and 6. So far, and this is from when I assigned them at the beginning of the month or end of March, whenever I did it. I don't remember when. But so far, I have 5 people who have done any of those assignments, and so far, nobody has done the DBQs. It would help you guys a lot, I think, to do as many of those as you can between now and May 21st. I know some of you guys have told me you've had trouble logging in. If you have trouble logging in, there's supposed to be a thing where you can reset your username and password. I know that's worked for some of you guys, and you've told me it has. For those of you that have not gotten it to work, if you haven't already let me know, and I'll be able to give you contact information where you can call up College Board and see if they can help you guys out. But you know, yeah, 5 so far. That number needs to come up. The sooner the better, because the more practice you do, the better prepared you're going to be for the exam. All right. Any questions about anything at the moment?
No.
That's just open notes, right?
Yeah, it's open notes. The problem is if you have a stack of notes sitting next to you the day of the exam, you're gonna that's part of the reason why it's only 45 minutes. Is if you have a stack of notes next to you in the exam, you're going to be flipping through all of that stuff and you won't be able to write an effective essay in 45 minutes. So the notes are pretty much to what I would use the open notes for is to have the rubric and some good examples of good DBQs you've done next to you. So you can kind of like look at them once or twice during the exam and say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to attack it. I wouldn't have notes full of material because that's going to just tear up your time really bad.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, like, if we're doing it online, is like punctuation and like spelling and stuff like gonna be like critical?
It's like I told you guys back in the beginning. None of that stuff is critical as such. The problem is if you don't ever punctualize, or your stuff is so bad they can't tell what you're saying, that's going to mess you up. It could also theoretically be the difference where, like, if you're on the border between a 2 and a 3 or a 3 and a 4, that could be the thing that keeps you from getting over that edge. If it's a clear 2 or a clear 3, spelling and punctuation is not going to make a difference. But if it confuses a reader, that could be problematic. Because, like, punctuation keeps your sentences from blurring together. Having different paragraphs makes it easy for a reader to figure out where your intro begins and ends, and things like that.
You gave back all the DBQs, right?
I think so. I don't think we assigned any recently before this whole coronavirus crap started. And I've purposely not assigned DBQs outside of AP Classroom, so you won't have to worry about a turnaround time, and have to worry about comments being marked up and all that. Because AP Classroom, if you do it through that, that'll take care of it by itself almost. Some of you guys have done SAQs on AP Classroom, and it opens up a little box, and I can basically type in feedback there. It even has like a little rubric that I can copy and paste from and drop in the comment box. So it works out pretty good if you do it that way. Trying to think what else. Yeah, that's pretty much it, unless you guys have questions. Because, like I said, we've gone over. The big thing is to get into AP Classroom if you can. If you can't, get with them first. Hold on a second. Yeah, get with them first, and if that doesn't work, I can give you the contact information. They've got a phone number. So sometimes what works, and this has worked for me when I've had tech problems, is if I have a problem with a website, a lot of times if I can call them on the phone, they're supposed to be familiar with their own website. So you can call them and say, hey, look, I'm doing this. This is what I see on my screen. And then they can kind of walk you through what to do sometimes. That's pretty much what I've got, unless anyone else has anything else.
Can we still turn in past assignments, like ones that we haven't turned in yet?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me pull that up real quick, and I'll talk about that.
Okay.
So what are the tests going to be like due to the coronavirus?
Noah, I sent you emails on those. Have you read those?
I think so, but it was a week or two ago.
Give me a second. Do you have a printer at your place, Noah?
Yeah.
Let me pull up the. Yeah. So I sent you an email on April 14th, and it's got 2 rubrics on it. Do you use a laptop, or how are you online with us right now?
My phone. But I
Okay.
have a laptop.
Okay. What I would do is since you say you have a printer, I would look for an email from me on April 14th. It's got 2 PDF attachments, and I would print both of those attachments. That's going to be your rubric on how the test is set up, how long it's going to be, what they expect. It's 1 DBQ. That's the entire test. And it's going to be done on AP Classroom, and it's 45 minutes long. And so I would try to get into AP Classroom ASAP. And if you have trouble, there are links on that website that are supposed to help you find your username or reset your password. And if you try those and then they don't work, let me know, and I can give you both an email address and a phone number for you to try to work out your login issues. But that needs to be worked out as soon as you can,
Okay.
because you don't want it to be May 18th and you're running around and you haven't practiced at all or any of the rest of it. There's a YouTube channel that I shared a while back. I have to find it. But oh yeah, there it is. I sent that out on March 26th, and so a lot of the kids in the session before you came on, they helped me feel a little bit better because they've been telling me that they've been watching those either every day or almost every day, taking notes on it. It's helping them refresh the material for them because, like I said, we're not meeting in class and there's no review sessions we can do. But this guy is doing, he's a top-notch AP teacher. He's endorsed by College Board, and he'll kind of keep you current on things so you can prepare, take notes, and study for the exam, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. But since Jackie had asked, let me let you guys know what the deal is with missing assignments. Let's see. So far there's no new assignments. I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of you guys have done all 7 of your assignments, which is awesome. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you have 100s for the quarter, which is also awesome. If you're missing any of your 7 assignments, what I would do is go on to PowerSchool, look up those assignments, and then either type them up as Google Docs individually and email them to me, or handwrite them. Make sure you label everything, take pictures of them, and email those to me.
So just turn them in like we usually would.
Yeah. If you're behind on your stuff, that's what I would do.
Okay.
There are a few people. Actually, there's only 2 people, and I don't think either of them are here today. Let me check. No, they're not here. But there are 2 people in our class who have done no work at all for quarter 4. They have 0s for quarter 4.
Dang.
Am I one of the ones that have 100?
Noah, you are missing 3 assignments from March 17th, April 2nd, and April 6th. So, like I said, you can look those up online and just turn them into me. The sooner the better.
Okay.
Anyone else have questions along those lines?
No.
I have a question, but it's not about homework.
Go.
So you said that the whole AP test is going to be on AP Classroom?
As far as I know, it looks that way. They're going to let us know more next week. So by this time next week, I should be able to give you more information about where you're going, the login procedure, if you're going to turn in your stuff by pictures, all of that stuff. I should be able to let you know more about next week. So next week should be a longer session than this.
Yeah, but the whole test is also just a single DBQ.
Yeah, correct. There is no multiple choice to help balance your grade out. Like I had a kid last year who failed the class. He got an F for the class, but because he wouldn't do any of the he wouldn't do the research paper. He got zeros for all of those, but he was damn good at doing multiple choice tests, and so he aced or got almost all of the multiple choice answers right. He wrote, some scribble scrabble to get him like 1 or 2 points on the DEQ or LEQ. You know what I mean? And so he was just barely able to get a 3. But a college is going to look at his transcript and know that he's lazy because it's like, well, how do you get a 3? On the test, but fail the class. Oh, I know, you're lazy, so, but he doesn't, but you guys don't have anything like that this year. I mean, it's all on the DBQ. But like I told them in the earlier sessions, and it's on the email I sent out, the DBQ the rubric has been modified, and the assignment has been modified. Instead of having 7 documents, you have 5, so you have less to read through before you start to write. You also have the rubric has been modified where it's easier to get some of the points, and there are more points to get. So if you're good at using documents and sourcing them, for example, if you can do those 2 things and something else, you're probably going to get a 3 on the exam. If you can do those things and some things else with an S, then you'll probably get a 4 on the exam. If you can do all but 1 or 2 of those things, then your chances of getting a 5 on the exam are actually pretty decent. So what College Board has done, and at first I'm still kind of frustrated that they don't have the multiple choice and the other things to help you out, but I think College Board is trying to make it so they know some of you guys have internet problems, so they're making the test 45 minutes. They know that you haven't had as much practice as you would in a normal year to write assignments in class and get feedback on it. So they're making the easier parts of the DBQ way more than they normally would, so you can get more points that way and you have an easier chance of getting a 3. Because remember, if you get a 3, the state of North Carolina guarantees you at least 1 college credit if you go to a public university in North Carolina. If you get, I don't know if it's a 4 or a 5, they're going to guarantee you 2 credits for a university course. Because most universities, when you're a freshman, you got to take ancient world history and you got to take modern world history to graduate college, pretty much every public college in the state. But if you get a 5, they're going to give you 2 credits, so you don't have to take either world history in college. So that's kind of the smart way to take an AP class, is to get the 3s, 4s, and 5s, so you can rack up as many credits as you can. Because if you get 4 or 5 credits before you graduate high school, that's an entire semester you've wiped out of college. You graduate a semester early. If you get between 8 and 10 credits before you graduate, you can graduate an entire year early. So everyone else is going to school for 4 years, and you can graduate in 3 years and save you tens of thousands of dollars.
Wait, Mr. Zellman.
Yes.
You said there was 5 documents, so does that mean we only have to use 4, or do we still have to use all of them?
The rubric, and I'm looking at the rubric, I have it in front of me. They only have 5 documents. So if you use 2 or 3 of the documents, they're going to give you 1 point on the rubric. If you use 4 or 5 of the documents, they're going to give you 2 points on the rubric. So you see, they're giving you more chances to give you points for what I and a lot of people think are the easiest parts to get, are the usage points and the sourcing points. If you sort, remember, you want to try to use all of the documents, because if you only use 4 and then the 4th one you do a bad job on, now you've lost a point. If you try to use all 5 documents and you mess up one, that's okay, because you still use 4 and now you get 2 points instead of 1 point. The sourcing, I think, is really easy, because almost all of you have sourced a document at least once since we've started this thing on one of the DBQs somewhere. And if you source one of these 5 documents on the exam, you get a point. If you source 2 or more of the documents, you get 2 points. So using and sourcing, those are 4 points right there. And then, then you got other things like the thesis. About half of you guys are pretty good at making a thesis. Now you got 5 points. 5 points is probably going to get you a 3 on the exam. A lot of you guys are pretty good at making a blueprint that'll build in an introductory paragraph. That'll get you a 6th point. Outside info, a lot of you guys are pretty good at. One example of outside info is 1 point. 2 or more examples is 2 points. So you're already at 8 just with that. And contextualization is the 9th. Historical complexity is the 10th point. Those are still there, but since those 2 points are 2 out of 10 versus 2 out of 7, if you can't get those 2 points, they hurt you less.
How many points do you need to get a 4 on the exam?
I'm not sure, and it's going to be based on how well students around the world do on the exam. That's going to be based on their cut score. If the students struggle with the exam, then they'll probably set 5 points as a level 3 and 6 or 7 as a level 4. If students do really good on this exam, then they're probably going to set 6 points as the cut score and have 7 or 8 points be a level 4. That's how it's always kind of worked. They have never in 20 or 30 years of doing this have ever recycled a prompt. They always come up with a new prompt. They always come up with new documents. So they're not sure how the students are actually going to perform when they roll it out. So they grade everybody at first, and then they compare all of the results. And they're like, well, hardly any students got the thesis. So, that lowers the overall score through the whole pile of scores. And so they'll adjust a cut score of what they consider to be a level 3 versus a level 2, and so on and so forth, because they're trying to, take into account how hard or easy they made the test. If they see that they made the test easy because everybody got it, then they're going to make it harder to give you a level 3, considering everybody else got the same points. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, in the exam, will there be, like, DBQs you choose? Like, different ones that you can choose?
I doubt it, because that's how the LEQ works. The LEQ, you get, you get a choice of prompts, and you identify it and you attack it. They've never done a DBQ that way. They could tell us next week, hey, we're going to modify it and have it that way. The only thing they've said is the DBQ is going to be anything between units 1 and 6 from College Board, and in our class that was units 1, 2, and 3, and so that covers anything between 1200 and 1900. So they're not going to put anything on there from the 20th century. The reason that College Board has put up those YouTube videos, and the reason I've given you guys review assignments from the 20th century, is because remember, two of the points you can get involve contextualization and historical complexity. So if you put something in context, like let's say the DBQ is about, European imperialism in the 19th century. If you put that in context of, civilizations trying to exercise their influence or control resources throughout human history, you could give examples of things that happen in the 20th century that tie into the 19th century, and you can get contextualization points or historical complexity points that way. But if you don't know the 20th century, you can't get those points that way. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I and the College Board are encouraging you guys to keep studying the 20th century. Just don't spend all your time on it, because your DBQ is going to be focused on, the prompt's going to be focused on events from 1200 to 1900.
Gotcha.
So that could be the Mongols, that could be, Europe getting its act together, that could be, Chinese dynasties, Japanese feudalism, it could be, the effect of exploration on, Native Americans. It could be, European imperialism, the effects of the African slave trade, the Arab slave trade. I mean, it could be any of those things. Anything else?
No.
Okay. If you guys don't have any questions, you guys can head out. I'm going to have office hours at 3 today if anyone has anything. Also at 3 o'clock on Tuesday if anyone has any individual questions. Haley, don't go, and Chloe, don't go. I need to talk to you two separately. The rest of you guys, if you want to head out, you can.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Thanks
Have
for
a good
coming. Yeah. I'll wait a couple minutes.
So we should come back at 3 to ask you a question.
If you have any individual questions that you think of that I didn't answer today, you can come back at 3 and I can go over those with you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. No
Bye.
problem, Kyra. Yeah. All right. So I know you two emailed me earlier last night and this morning about College Board. Have either of you been able to fix your login issues?
I called and they said they were going to send me a temporary password, but they never did. And I finally found out what my password was, but
Uh-huh.
it kicked me out of my account because I tried too many times. So I have to call again to ask them about
Okay.
That's what mine did. Like it won't, like it keeps saying it sent me the password, but I don't get anything.
Have you two checked your spam filter?
Yeah.
There's nothing in mine.
Okay. Haley, when did you last communicate with College Board?
Around 9 this morning.
Okay. So after we leave, you might want to try again and see if it has reset or how long it takes for them to reset. Chloe, have you reached out to them yet?
Yes, I emailed them.
And when did you do that?
About like 11, I think.
Okay. Yeah, let me know tomorrow morning if you hear back from them or not. You might need to call them like Haley did, but wait, see if they get back with you or not. Haley, have you had any email communication with them or not?
I emailed them like 5 weeks ago and they just reached me like last night, but they were just making me fill out a form to confirm that it was me on the account. I wasn't just asking for random information.
Yeah, that's too long to wait.
Yeah, because they
yeah,
said they
so,
would come for you for 3 to 5 days, but it took them 5 weeks from me.
yeah, they have the same, like a lot of companies. You have people who were either they've told them not to work, or they're working from home, and so that's kind of jacking things up. So what I would do is I would call them. Haley, were you able to get through with them okay?
Yeah, because AP opened from 9 to 6, so I called just at 9, so I was around the first person they were able to contact at the time.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah. So just let me know how it goes. Kind of do the things that I was going over, and then when you are able to get in, let me know that too. That way we don't have to be nervous about it or anything.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right. Anything else, ladies?
No.
No.
All right. I will see you all later.
See you
Alright.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.